Greetings, and welcome to another reading. Um, Today it's gonna be a very insightful one. It may confirm information that you already know, or it will open your eyes. But I think you already have an inkling of how these people have been moving. I'm getting it's a group of people, like an alliance almost. It feels like when you're around these people, you are sort of like in Big Brother almost, where you have an alliance, and I'm getting that in your mind you are like, isn't this? Aren't we supposed to be a family? Aren't we supposed to be a friend group? Like, aren't we supposed to be doing our work if you guys are colleagues? Like, you don't get how these. In your mind, you're like, what's with these alliances? What's with these alliances? I'm getting that you weren't aware that these were going on, and they were aware. Okay? You, because of your, say, idealistic mindset, I feel like you had a very, and this is not a bad thing, you had a very naive view of the world. You thought people had genuine intentions like you do. And this is very dangerous because there's nothing wrong with having genuine intentions, being authentic in, social dynamics. But it is very important that we are always aware that not everyone thinks the way we do, and people have their own motives, agendas as to why they maintain or are in proximity to certain people. And the way to live is to be aware of these differences, having discernment and moving accordingly instead of just going into every interaction with the same intention. Okay, so because you guys were, it was your, like, people, these people were very close to you. You thought they would have genuine intentions, but no. Okay, and they could see that you didn't know what they know about this dynamic, and they used it to their advantage. This means they were in a power position in this dynamic, and you've been in a lot of situations where you are in the powerless position because you did not see the whole thing. They were in a power position because they knew exactly why they were close to you. They knew what they were doing, and you didn't know. This is why it may seem like you are almost like a victim, where friends do this to you, partners do this to you, at work you get this type of treatment. And I'm getting that you have to work on getting out of that role if you haven't. Because I'm getting your story is the type of story where people will say, but you're the common denominator. Oh my God, I hate that. I don't like that comment at all, because it depends on the context. Sometimes it really be everybody else. Especially because it actually has been proven that people who are scapegoated experience those dynamics almost every way in their lives, especially if they were not aware of that they have that role. You know what I mean? And so when you actually tell people your story, people who don't want to think deeply, or people who are not who don't know that people can be scapegoated, they can really think that you have a victim mentality and you are the common denominator, so you must be the problem. And sometimes the scapegoat themselves can think like this and self-blame and be like, I'm the common denominator, I must be the problem. So you may be getting this or have gotten this everywhere in your life. And one of the tools that these people used against you is fear. Okay, and they may have used the fear of you losing them against you. They may have used strategies like withholding, breadcrumbs, the silent treatment. They may have also used more sadistic strategies like certain violations, if you catch my drift, certain violations, gaslighting. I'm getting hiding your stuff and sort of getting a sadistic entertainment from seeing you losing your mind. These people understood that you wanted harmony, you wanted unity, you wanted love, and because they did not operate the same way, they thought that you were stupid, naive, and this is because they do not have the capacity to love. They are what we call spiritless human beings, just dead people walking around. And you were trying to foster relationships with these kinds of people without being aware that they were spiritless human beings. And I'm getting that now in retrospect, and just in seeing them now, you can see that these people have nothing to give. And you almost wonder, like, how come I never saw this? But you couldn't help it. This knowledge comes in stages, and at that stage you did not know. They benefited from keeping you in that position, because when you can use fear to control someone, and you were controlled with that fear. They knew what your fears were, and they knew your weaknesses, and they used them against you, and that kept you in line. That kept you in line. But they mistook you wanting harmony, love, because maybe you are friends, it's your relationship, it's your family. It's obvious that's what you want in those dynamics. But they saw you as stupid. I'm getting that these people do not believe that these concepts exist, because they are not capable of it. So just like you assume that everyone is like you, they assume that everyone is spiritless like them, and they see people who are emotionally sensitive, who have emotions, as stupid as, they see you like an adult who still believes in Santa. To them, these concepts are as mythical. The concept of love, the concept of harmony, the concept of peace and happiness are as mythical as Santa to these people. So you were dealing with these kinds of people. You never had a chance to get what you were looking for. So when you wanted to nurture the relationships between them, they did not see it as you are looking for love, but they saw it as you are looking for their validation. This is why they withdrew their attention strategically, or gave you breadcrumbs, or gave you the silent treatment, because in their mind it's like, okay, this person needs my validation, so I'm gonna be strategic with how I give them my validation. And I'm getting, now you realize that you're also even thinking to yourself, what did I even want with this person, because they never even gave me anything. So their biggest downfall is you waking up to the dynamic, because the dynamic was working because you were not aware. And by the way, there was a sort of master puppeteer in these dynamics. This may be the leader of the friend group, or a parent figure in families, or someone in a powerful position in the workplace. They were the ringleader of this whole thing, and the others, because they wanted access to the one who is most powerful in their eyes, they aligned with that person. And because you couldn't get in line, your biggest mistake was not getting in line, because you couldn't understand why we can't exist as equals, especially in family and friend groups. Like, you couldn't understand why we couldn't be as equals, but your independence almost became a threat to the person in the leadership position. This could be a parent, you have this person in mind. They can understand, you can understand why we can't be equal. But the thing is, your independence was a threat to this person's control, because this type of people are controlling, and anyone who shows signs of independence, not even disrespect, but like just independence, independent thinker, is a threat to their control. Okay, and the others fell in line in their control, but you didn't, and that made you stand out. And that meant that you were a threat to the fantasy that they have in their head, where they are the powerful one, the most clever one, the one who has the most control. And the thing is, these people cannot see other people as human beings. And so when you show independence, it's sort of like you remind these people that you are not an object in their fantasy story that they have of themselves in their head, but you're an actual human being that they cannot control. That is the biggest threat to them. And I'm getting, if this is a family, you show these signs as a little child, and they were like, oh my God, I have something. I have never seen a child like this. I must make sure that I rein them in before because if they're like this as a little infant, how much more when they are in young adult. And it's like they, in each stage of your life, they tried, but it's like your independence cannot be shaken. But at some point I'm getting like you were beaten down, like you may be able to stand up for yourself after some time when you are getting attacked, but if you cannot escape it, at some point you are sort of like gonna give in, and you finally got to that point where you lived in a fearful state, and that is where they wanted you to be in. But you got out of that. And I'm getting it is keeping them awake at night. The fact that you do not fear them anymore. Their worst nightmares have been made alive because during your fearful state, you saw a lot of things. You saw how they acted because they thought that you were finally beaten down. Some things they did not hide, and a lot of things now, and that they would like to be swept under the rug. And the fact that you do not fear them anymore is like, are they gonna speak? It's like they are waiting for you to go on some expose. And this is why you have to be careful with these people, because they might do things to prevent you from doing that. Even if you're thinking of not doing that, they are always in a fear that you're gonna expose them. They may be, if they are not actively threatening you, do not think that they're not doing anything. They may be going behind your back through smear campaigns. And the only defense against a smear campaign is indifference. And do not resist the urge. Resist the urge to defend yourself. Resist it, okay? Indifference. If you know it's not true, and you know that God knows it's not true, do not defend it. And most of the time, the people that they talk to, they kind of do not believe what they're telling them, but they're not going to challenge it either. So once you come on defending yourself, then they're like, okay, maybe it's true, So relax. I'm getting that they are always on edge around you because they're like, he seems much braver now. Is she gonna confront us about what we did? Is she gonna expose us? But I'm getting like you've been continuing with your life normal. You do not see, or you're not in a space now where you can expose them per se. So it's like they are waiting on the edge of their seats. They are always very hyper vigilant around you. They're waiting to look for signs that you're gonna avenge for yourself. And that is because they have that mindset. They're very vengeful people. So they think that you will do that as well. I'm getting that also they are trying those tactics again to see if you are really not manipulatable anymore, And I'm getting that these tactics are so corny to you right now. You can't even believe that you took them seriously. You find it so corny when they give you the silent treatment. When they do, like when they hide your stuff, you're like, I know you took my stuff, and you just leave it alone. And the next thing you find the thing, they've put it back. They may say things to make you crash out. This is because they want you back on that role that they have given you. Because now that you've stepped out of that role, it has disturbed the fantasy, and they don't want to change the story, or they don't want to come back to reality. They want to keep the fantasy, and so the only solution is to bring you back, is to suck you back in the role. And these tactics are meant to do that, but they are so silly to you right now. They are so silly to you right now, and I'm getting that you should celebrate that, because at some point you took these things very seriously, and this is because you were still naive. We all have that stage of our lives, and I think this is really the fact that well, the thing is, people like you get this treatment from the genesis of your life, which is from your family. Because I was going to say that this is the mistake of parents not preparing their child socially to be strict, smart, to understand that that different people have different motives, yada yada yada. But the thing is, this treatment, it starts from home. Scapegoating start from home. If you find that you are a scapegoat at work, in your relationship, in your friendships, like you can't get a break, you're always the one who is ostracized, you may be doing what is called repetition compulsion, where you always find yourself in this role, and even you may be comfortable being in that role because you've always been in that role, even at home. And if you've never really recognized that your family did that to you, you may need to reevaluate your family life. Like, never let people control you through fear. Once people start giving you things like the silent treatment, withdrawing breadcrumb, they are trying to control you emotionally. Never let anyone do those things. But I'm getting you in a much better headspace right now. It's just that you've found the tactics very childlike, almost very childish, and you can't even imagine that at some point you took them so seriously. Continue to grow, continue to be detached, and have walls around these particular people, and grow your community outside of them, until you can eventually leave physically from them. These people really do ever change. They mostly adapt to how you are, in hopes to remember their number one motive is to get you back in the role, and they will do it anyhow. If they have to be mean about it, they will be, but if they have to play nice about it and play the long game, they will do that as well. So you may find that now, because they are scared that you've literally changed overnight, even though you didn't change overnight, but to them you've changed overnight. I lost my train of thought there. But I think you get the gist already. You get the gist. Keep on going. keep on going. These are the words that I needed to hear myself. Keep on going. God is saying that we must keep on going and find humor in it as well. So when you notice that they're trying to do these things, just laugh it off within yourself and be like, oh my God, so corny, so corny. Yeah. Have a great day and keep being you.